Hey guys, Matt Marzillo here. This is the first video I have about Microsoft PowerPoint. Some of you may have some experience using Microsoft PowerPoint, and what it is a tool that you use to present information that you're speaking in front of, right? So usually you might prepare a handful of slides, and you have, and when I say handful, I mean maybe you have somewhere between 7 to 20 slides or so, and you're using that as sort of a background in front of a presentation that you're given. It's not intended, Microsoft PowerPoint isn't intended for you to write full-length reports, right? That's more of a Microsoft Word application. But generally speaking, you're going to be bullet pointing certain things. And for this week's assignment, I'm asking that you put together a sort of resume about yourself with professional and personal facts about you. Kind of have some fun with it. But it's important to remember, and this is one piece of advice, always write in full sentences, right? I mean, I understand in Microsoft PowerPoint, you're usually going to be bullet pointing things, but you want to make sure that you're writing full sentences. Use appropriate punctuation. It's one of those sort of things that I think a lot of managers kind of like to pick out. So just one tip from me. So now to PowerPoint. When you first open up a new file, you're going to be presented with a cover page, right? And you can see the format here. You have two text boxes. We have a space for a title, and you have space for a subtitle. My recommendation is always include something called an executive summary, or sort of like a thesis or something like that in the subtitle area, right? So maybe your title is your name, and then you would have an executive summary that lists what this presentation is about. Okay, so that's your title page. And before I get too far, I want to explain a little bit about the overall layout of Microsoft PowerPoint. So right now, let's start with the different views. So right now we're in the normal view. If you follow me down here to the bottom right, and you have several different options of the views, and you can access those different views by going to the bottom right here, or also by going up to the top and clicking on the View tab. So generally, when you're building your PowerPoint presentation, you're going to be using the normal view, but it's also sometimes good to use the outline view, because you can include notes here, right? So that when you're giving the presentation, you have some notes that are listed here off to the side that are for you to see that nobody else will see. Or maybe you print out your presentation, you have the notes that are kind of knotted off to the side. So you have the normal view, the outline view. You also have this here, which is called the slideshow view. And you click on that, it's going to show you what the presentation is actually going to look like. And always remember that when you get out of the presentation view, you hit the escape button. And the last view that you use is the slide sorter view. So that's up here in the top left, or follow me down to the bottom right. You're down here, the slide sorter. You click on that, and right now it only shows one slide, but actually let me add a few slides here just for the sake of it. Right click, new slide, right click, new slide. Okay, I'm going to go to slide sorter. And now you can move the slides around, right? I can left click, hold, and move things around if I don't like the way the layout looks. But I'm going to leave it as is because I like it like that. So those are the views that you have in Microsoft PowerPoint. Also, with each of the different slides, you have a different layout, right? So if you notice, the title layout had just these two text boxes. They were both similar in size, and all the preceding or all the following slides had a small text box up here with a larger one down in the bottom. And if you right click on a slide, you can go down to layout, and you have a few different options, and you can even expand this so you can see all the different options you have for slide layouts. Honestly, I think the title and content slide is probably going to do the trick for most things. if you click out of here, I mean, you also have the flexibility. If you click on the text box, you can shrink down the size, or you can move it around a little bit as you see fit. So I would just stick to the two basic layouts that Microsoft PowerPoint provides to you. And then within the text box, it automatically sets you up with bullet points. But you have the option to convert that over to numbers, or you can move it right, or you can move it left. And as with most other things in Microsoft, it has the auto formatting. And if you tab over, it gives you the bullet points still. So kind of that nice Microsoft feel to the formatting of PowerPoint. Anything else? I'm thinking that's about it. I think you saw earlier, if you right click on the left pane here and you click new slide, it adds a new slide, right? Nothing complicated there. If you don't like a slide, you can right click on it and you could delete the slide. You can duplicate the slide if you want to, if you have a special format that you worked with and you want to just duplicate it and replace the content, you can duplicate the slide. So those are really the basics of Microsoft PowerPoint. One last thing I'll mention is when you're printing out slides, you go to File, Print. You generally don't want to print full page slides. You're essentially telling the computer or the printer to print out one slide per page. That's become cumbersome, right? If you have a 20 slide presentation, you don't want to print it out on one slide per page. So you would click on this option here and try to find what fits best for you. Typically, I would say maybe 4 horizontal slides or 6 slides. If you do have to print out one slide, do it because you have notes, so you can kind of keep those notes that we showed you on the note view or the outline view. But try not to just print out one big slide per page, especially if you have color. Okay, guys, that's it for the basics of Microsoft PowerPoint. We have a few more videos this week on PowerPoint. Stay tuned. Thanks.